Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes, all the way from down under, and today I'm going to be blunt. There is a large possibility that Royale fails as a game. But why? Royale is free to play, easy to run, has unique combat mechanics, movement and classes, and is overall a ton of fun. And personally, I really like this game. But my problem is not with the game itself, it's how it's being managed and developed. So today I'm going to be purely focused, dead center, on the developers Hi-Rez and the development of this title, along with the lessons we have learnt from Paladins to go and point out some worrying signs about the future of Royale. Before we start, this is not blind hate. I love the games Hi-Rez makes, I've worked with them before, I've made many videos on Paladins and I love that game, but it's obvious Hi-Rez is completely out of touch with their community. So first, let's not get it twisted. Hi-Rez does what it wants to do and does not prioritize community feedback quick enough. Example A, changing legendary weapons to drop via crates. Yeah, I love dropping in and getting a venom pistol and versing a player with a legendary heirloom. Who thought up this idea? It makes absolutely no sense, and only after the massive community outrage it was changed. You have a PTS for a reason, please go and utilize it. And yes, in the end, they did go and revert the update, but it shouldn't have been implemented in the first place. Example B, and personally, the one thing that I feel may go and kill off this game as quickly as it became popular, the servers. They are absolute garbage. The servers for Royale need to be brought down for a day, 2, 3, 4, a week, who cares? The terrible lag needs to be fixed or at least managed. It's the biggest thing that is ruining the gameplay experience right now, however it seems that Hi-Rez is turning a blind eye. No public announcements, nothing. The game is still online. Example C, Paladins Cards Unbound. The worst update in Paladins history, making a fantastic game basically an RNG pay-to-win fiesta. The fact that the idea was conceived, developed into a full update, announced and published despite massive community outcry, and only reverted when legitimately half your community stopped playing the game, it's an absolute disgrace. I know that the people in charge of that update have been sacked, and I know that Paladins is in a really good spot right now, but can we not see the same trends creeping into Royale? A complete disregard for community feedback, prioritizing things that simply don't need to be prioritized, and overall just a complete lack of judgment in multiple forms. Before we continue, let me say that at this moment in time, I enjoy Royale's gameplay more than Fortnite. This is coming from someone who was sponsored many months ago to go and promote Fortnite, and if I was smart about this, I could just bash Royale and shill Fortnite. But I like both games, and I like sharing my honest opinion with you guys. I play both games quite regularly, and to be honest, the brutal nature of Royale, where one mistake means death, is so much more satisfying to go and play than Fortnite, where making mistakes is rectified by building the Eiffel Tower. So when I say Hi-Rez should go and look at what Epic is doing, I mean it not in terms of the updates of Fortnite. Keeping these already completely different games separate is a very good thing. The only common trait is the fact they are both battle royale games. When I say Hi-Rez should go and look at what Epic Games is doing, I mean in terms of how Epic is communicating, gathering feedback, and overall treating Fortnite. Point 1. Communication. There is tons of Twitter posts about the game's status posted very frequently. Major dev blogs and detailed patch notes posted on the website. The developers are being extremely active on Reddit and the forums, and this level of communication is fantastic. Point 2. Feedback gathering. It's not just from the pro players, or just from Reddit, or just from Twitter. It's using all three of these sources in conjunction with hard stats from the game in order to go and make decisions that will go and benefit the majority of the player base. Big changes are generally publicly discussed before they are implemented, or a limited time mode is used to go and test. Think what would have happened if Epic just went with their gut and put the first shooting test into the main game, where every gun was laser accurate but had insane recoil and spread. It would legitimately be Cards Unbound 2, it would have completely changed Fortnite, but that didn't happen. Of course, we still have stuff like the first implementation of first shot accuracy, double pump, etc. And stuff like this was massive step backs in the game's development, but in general, Epic is making more good decisions than bad in this regard. Point 3, they do what they need to be done, quickly. Servers in the bed, let's take the servers offline for a day. Let's lose a ton of money, but ensure the community is happy. New limited time mode not working out, let's quickly swap in 50 vs 50, but let's make some changes to go and make the community happy. Playground lagging out the game, let's take it out. When there is a problem, they are very quick to go and take action, which is fantastic. Now, to be fair, it sounds like I'm sucking Epic's dick, but I'm just pointing out the good. I can go and point out the bad, and don't worry, there is a lot of bad. I have multiple videos where I'm calling out changes to Fortnite and decisions that Epic Games have made that I personally completely disagree with. But overall, they have been treating their game in a good fashion. I just really can't say the same for Royale, and it has me worried. And to be perfectly honest, I can go say the same for Paladins. They put out a fantastic update, and then they put out a terrible update. There's no quality control. They just put out whatever they think is good, and in the end of it, it's like, okay, we're gonna shoot, and if it hits, it hits, and if it misses, well, we'll deal with it later. And this type of attitude just does not work in 2018. I really like Royale. It is rough around the edges, and I can go and excuse bugs and glitches, but making rash changes and completely ignoring the server situation, it's already making me worried. We have heard nothing from the side of Hi-Rez, nor has any action been taken to the game publicly. I have no doubt there are patches on the way, but this lack of communication is worrying, very, very worrying, that nothing has been said about this dire situation. Yes, Hi-Rez is a smaller studio than Epic, I know, but properly presenting your company to the public, and therefore properly presenting your game, is imperative to garner success. We can look at a myriad of examples, but the closest one to home for me is Combat Arms. My favorite game of all time. Favorite game of all time. The devs publicly were a mess, and in the end of it, the game just slowly started going downhill, more and more terrible updates, and then in the end, the game just died because the community was saying all this fantastic feedback, and the developers just took none of it into their stride. Games these days only get one good shot to go and make an impact. Fortnite got a massive break and they just ran with it, and they're going to continue running for it for many years, I believe. PUBG as well. But then you look at the mess called Radical Heights. In essence, a fun game. I enjoyed Radical Heights, but it was riddled with so many issues that it could never go and recover from the public outcry. Royale never really had that problem. It made its big splash at the best time possible, with Fortnite servers being down and streamers loving the game. But now, with every misstep, more and more people get frustrated. As I hinted to previously, it feels like Hi-Rez has a motto of, don't be afraid to go and try crazy things in beta/alpha, and this made perfect sense in 2012, but with how early access is so publicly available, people treat a game in early access like a full release, and to be honest, they should. Developers are pushing out games as quick as possible. You can see that Royale was a game that was made very, very quickly. And to be honest, Fortnite Battle Royale was a mode that was made very, very quickly. They just had the base of Fortnite that was many, many years in development behind it, and therefore there wasn't too many bugs and glitches first on. But you have a look at Royale, it's cashing in on a trend. Fortnite, it was cashing in on a trend. And if you want to instantly monetize them, they're going cash in on the hype, you can go and do that. But the game has to be playable. If it's full of bugs and glitches, this type of buy first, fix later attitude, it just isn't right. It just isn't right. It's 100% not proper. It wasn't accepted back in the day. The only reason it's accepted now is because of the lines of early access and full release have gone and blurred to a point where they're basically non-existent. Royale has been out for less than a month, and there is already a cosmetic pack for 15 USD. There is nothing wrong with monetizing your game, and I know studios have different departments for art, engineering, etc. But monetizing your game when it's basically unplayable goes and shows where your priorities lie, to the public at least. I could go and say the exact same thing for Fortnite. When a game was fundamentally broken, they were pushing out new skins and new content and just forcing it down our throats without actually worrying about the problems that were fundamentally breaking the game. But the game was already so popular at that point that it didn't really matter. Of course there were issues in the first month of Fortnite, but those issues were taken on very, very quickly and fixed very, very quickly. And that type of responsiveness is what Hi-Rez needs to go and implement with Royale, because if they just go and slack off for a little bit, they could potentially go and lose their player base. There is simply a point where people have enough. We can see it slowly happening to PUBG, we've seen it happen to H1Z1, and now we can see it happening to Overwatch. With so many games being available to play, people just go and play the next hot thing, what's being played on YouTube, what's being played on Twitch, what are their friends playing? Because in the end of it, people just want to go and play what their friends are playing. And at the moment, it's Fortnite. Yes, Epic Games have gone and misstepped, but overall, Fortnite is consistent, fresh, and fun, despite the continuous updates changing the game. I hope Hi-Rez can go and learn from their past games, and learn from the competition, putting all of their know-how into Royale to make it the best game it can be. Personally, I think Royale can be that third Battle Royale game. You have PUBG, you have Fortnite, Royale can be up there because it provides a completely different experience. It has that class-based experience with the hardcore gameplay where you make a mistake, you're basically dead. I love that, absolutely love that, and that's the reason why I really like PUBG. But the issues and the lack of optimization of PUBG really pulled me away. The fact I could barely go and run the game. This game, I can run, FPS wise, fantastically. But there we have the issues creeping in. If those issues are sorted out and the game is fundamentally solid, I feel like it can go and take that third spot. Hi-Rez is a great studio. They've put out fantastic video games. But as I said before, take one too many steps in the wrong direction and it can mean a very swift end to your game. I just hope it doesn't happen to Royale. I would love to go and read what you guys think because I dropped a ton of hot takes in that video and I know a ton of you guys will go and disagree with me. So comment in the comment section below and let's have a discussion. With that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, more analytical type content, live commentary, so on and so on, make sure to go and hit that subscribe button. We're getting so close to 100,000 subscribers, and I appreciate it if you did go and click that button. But other than that, it's Undercover Dudes, all the way from down under, out.